Hey people, Intro here, 1v1, Ashes of Typhon Redux, blue side, InfamousLocalGhost as a Chaos Sorcerer, offensive and disruptive hero with powerful battlefield manipulation and control. This is the Black Legion up against PhatE as a Warboss, a melee hero, walking through objects, very good offense, disruption and support from the front lines. Can't even close his mouth, he's got so much teeth. That's why he's angry, I think. So this is... I think this is like the 2v2 version of the map that's been reimagined as a 1v1 maybe. It's a lot lighter, there's a lot more snow going on this version. Quad Heretics for InfamousLocalGhost, that's how you know they're pro. Who needs Chaos Space Marines, eh? PhatE going for the classic double shooters. Looks like they're going to run through the mid, and the Warboss is going to run into Heretics on the west side. Sorcerer will meet Sluggers. So the Warboss is going to try and stomp on these guys and they're moving away, and the Sorcerer is going to try Doom Bolts. There it is. And it was a good hit. He's going to go in now and clean them up unless they run away. They got the wreck point. They should just run now, these Sluggers. As in retreat, guys. Just bolt pistoled one down. They didn't need to lose that model, I think, PhatE. He should have got them away. Oh, some Tzeentchian worship helping out those Heretics, and Heretics coming through the mid with a Doom Blast on double shooter boys. Another Doom Blast coming up, I suspect. Heretics coming through the mid to join them. There's the other one. A decent little fight. They took out 3 of the shooters, I think. Yep. And 1 Slugger died, and I think... well... they lost like 4 or 5 Heretics, so it may have evened out in terms of reinforcement, but look how blue the map is turning now. Sorcerer's going to forward cap this wreck point. The Warboss just did the same in the southwest. Sluggers have found him, but this is going to be bad because a Doom Bolt is coming point blank range. What are you meant to do against that? There's been a lot of talk recently about grenades having a minimum range because of unavoidable nasty area of effect explosions in your face, and if that's the case, then all targeted abilities should have some kind of minimum range, surely. Because that was nuts. PhatE, seems like PhatE hasn't played for a while and they are getting to grips with things again. It's like, has that Doom Bolt's got better? Nope, it's always been like that. Looters on the field for PhatE. So LocalGhost may respond with Raptors, although they can also use Sigil of the Rift or just flanking maneuvers to deal with it. Bunch of Orks going to run into the Sorcerer. Going to be a Doom Bolts again, isn't there? I think the Sorcerer consumed one of those Heretics to get energy and health back. Nasty Doom Bolts, but they have mopped up the east side because of the looters there. Back on the west side, Warboss found some Heretics who were capping a wreck point. Looks like they couldn't get a decap though. And it also looks like the Warboss didn't use their stomp because they don't have any energy missing. So if he used that, PhatE might have got a wipe on those Heretics there. 1-to-1 cap. Warboss is going to run into some more Heretics, I think. And he hasn't lost any health, I don't think, the Warboss. No. Nice and healthy. Heretics are going to make sure they're turned before they start capping that. There's a Doom Blast just to slow down the Warboss and suppress him. Just making him angrier, fellas. Orcs starting to get some map presence back with a double cap here. Looters capping the eastern power point as well. Need to get this natural wreck point back, I suppose. Warboss still giving chase to those guys. Looks like they got an aspiring champion in. He's a Chaos Marine with a bolt pistol and chainsaw. They really want to decap this wreck point. Now they're getting Warbossed. Got the 42 DPS. Giant chain axe thing. I think it's 42.5 DPS. To be specific. These Heretics just hanging out over here. These fellas going to die. There's the decap that he wanted. And they run. And they survive. Because the aspiring champion has a decent chunk of health. Sluggers here with burners. Where are the looters at? On the east side. With that nasty death gun. Heretics bashing power. That's another squad with an aspiring champion there. All of them have it? No, just those 2. Other fellas are default Heretics. Shooter boys with big shooters. So they can suppress with aiming. What's that? Looks like both squads have it now. And they're weighing in some Daka on these heretics. These looters in trouble. More heretics in retreat path. I don't think they're going to get away. And the sorcerer can teleport and has the sword of flame. I don't think they're going to make it. Sword of flame with the damage of a time melee attack. Also the coruscating flame. Use your choppers on those sluggers. Sorcerer promptly teleports away with vestments of the warp. I'm not sure where coruscating flame was used there. Is it on the sorcerer maybe? You can just like set an allied unit on fire and they damage nearby enemies. Warboss still decapping. Just been patrolling this west side trying to lock it down. PowerPoint's going to turn red. Raptors are on the field for local ghost. Jump troops that suppress when they land with a cacophony effect. Bad news for the shooters. But sluggers, if they can get tier 2 and get their knob leader, they can really threaten these fellas. And of course the Warboss can pretty badly too. PhatE goes tier 2. Do they get a quick Death Dread or a quick Weird Boy? I think both of them would be pretty good. Probably a Death Dread to get the threat on the power. But if they hold off on war gear and unit upgrades, they may be able to get Death Dread into Weird Boy quite quickly. This is the Sorcerer on the east side. Almost level 3. The Warboss, almost level 2. They're going straight for the power again. Heretics are fighting somewhere. Who is it? It's these fellas. Warboss with a stomp. Hits a few of them. And they're going to steal that wreck point. And then they're going to have to fight the Warboss, most likely. Nope, he's off. That might have been a queued up command to go and bash the power or something. Meanwhile, power bashing going on in the north. Shooter boys will have some Daka. Doom bolts. Pain, pain, pain. Then teleports in and stabs them. Triple cap now for local ghost, and they're going to get a full power bash, I think. Orks taking the western edge. Raptors got messed up a bit by the sluggers, looks like. Death Dread is on the way for PhatE. And that should help him break out of this. Tier 2 is not far behind though for local ghost. Consumes a heretic. Shooter boys doing their thing, but they're going to get shut down by the sorcerer melee here. Didn't even need to teleport in. Levels up to 3. Special attack misses, but there's that Doom Bolts again. And then teleports into base. May need to run now. Here's the Death Dread. Definitely needs to run. And burners and bits on the way immediately. Gives the Death Dread more hit points and some burners to burn down generators or heretics, whichever you feel like. Doom blasting heretics running from sluggers in the southwest without their aspiring champion. They can't fight burners, sluggers super well. Especially when you're up against a Warboss who can throw down his use your choppers and Ard boys at a moment's notice. Death Dread gets a good crack on some heretics. They got the decap and full bash though. 399 to 298. Do we see any war gear for the Warboss? Nope. No knob leader for the sluggers either. Using their burners to burn things, and there's some dark flames. Speaking of burning, they're going to try and tough it out. Dark flames into a Doom Bolts. Bad day to be a slugger. They are staying in this way too long. Sorcerer teleports. Heretics getting some hits and a Doom Blast. Are they going to die? I think they're going to die. Raptors trying to help out with some bolt pistol fire. Sorcerer teleports again. Can they get a hit? He can get a hit. And sluggers wipe. Shooter boys almost wiped as well. More sluggers on the way. Looks like these guys had Ard boys on them maybe. I wonder if that would have saved the sluggers. But more are on the way. Plague Marines for local ghost to try and fight this Death Dread. These guys have a missile launcher that snares targets and slows them down. Quite tough as well, although they are slow. Sorcerer can help with that though, using their warp. War truck now for PhatE, and he's got the sluggers up. And I imagine they're going to be upgraded immediately, well, as soon as possible. Can't afford any war gear for the Warboss. Is almost level 3, taking back their natural wreck point. West side being taken by the Sorcerer. Investments of the Warp really helping with mobility around the capping stuff. Single here for Local Ghost, 399 into 295 on the VPs. Oh, just decap the VP. Now going to decap the wreck point. Some heretics will show up and grab the points themselves. Sluggers on the eastern VP. So it's going to be 2-1 for Local Ghost. Well, eventually, because these guys are pushing up to help support the Sorcerer. Death Dread stomping over. There's some Tzeentchian worship. Doesn't infiltrate the worshipping heretics though. And those guys got consumed as well by the Sorcerer. He just casually walks away from the scary Death Dread. Those heretics almost wiped. Where are the sluggers? They're inside the war truck, I guess. Yes, they are. See them poking out. No, I don't think Local Ghost has seen the war truck yet. Plague Marines run away. Oh, Sorcerer got caught by the Death Dread. Just when I said they casually walked away from it. Not far enough. There's a bunch of Daka involved as well. Heretics, can you get this? You can. Then you need to run. 2-1 still for Local Ghost. Double Plague Marines. Now they've definitely seen the war truck. These guys with burners, but they don't have their Knob Leader yet. Death Dread will come and help with the power bash. Doesn't seem like they need it though. 1-1 cap. There's the second Plague Marine squad. They should make short work of the war truck if they can get up to it. Especially if they get rear armor hits. Raptors jumping in. You're going to stomp Mr. Warboss. There's the stomp. Gets the cap. Probably runs away. Well, not yet apparently. There we go. Runs away. Yeah, took a bunch of damage pretty quickly. Those Plague Marines have damage over time Plague Bolters as well as their missile launcher. The missile launcher won't hit infantry very reliably. But that's what the bolters are for. This is a bad fight for the Raptors. Knob Leader sluggers with burners and user choppers. Yeah, they got decimated, had to jump out. Only cost 75 red to throw that down on the sluggers. I think you think that was worth it, even though they jumped out. Well, Raptors are back, and double Plague Marines are firing on the war truck. Can suppress them with the shooters, maybe. 349 to 273 on the VPs. West side is all red. Sluggers run. I'm not sure why the sluggers ran. Maybe that was a misclick. Or a miss hotkey, whatever you call it. Warboss comes to have a word with the Plague Marines. Raptors jumping in to dicey situation. Need to be way more careful with their jumps when there's sluggers around. In fact, I think they're dead now. They are. Dark Flames thrown in, but they won't mind too much. Sorcerer still down. And it must have been a very satisfying kill for PhatE because he was causing huge problems, that Sorcerer. Needs to spend 250 rec to get that guy back on the field. But they're spending it on a Chaos Dreadnought. With what? Mark of Tzeentch, maybe? I mean, it may be Mark of Khorne because of the Warboss being around who could get a Power Claw. Plague Marines all run away. Shooters will take the mid. PhatE starting to gain some momentum now with that Sorcerer down. Really changes the battlefield. One of the heretics is wiped along the way too. So it is going to be Mark of Khorne. Full on melee dreadnought. Sorcerer can support it with warping. Although it warps it to the Sorcerer's body, which at the moment isn't in a great place. Isn't an especially safe place. There's a 2-1 for PhatE. 335 to 248. Heretics getting darkered in the face. There's aiming what's that for the suppression. And they try to back off. Anything coming in to support them? Oh, more shooter boys are. And there's the Sorcerer getting repurchased. So he's going to be out and about again. Almost level 4. Death Dread now. Sorry, Dreadnought. With the Mark of Khorne. Has that underslung heavy bolter as well. Which was buffed at some point in Elite years ago now. Where's the actual Death Dread? Level 2, he's doing alright. Breaking stuff and stomping around. Tier 3 for PhatE. Probably to get commandos, right? I mean, you could throw a Nob Squad into the Mark of Khorne Dreadnought and try to brute force it with use your choppers and stuff. But commandos could do a lot for PhatE here with their fast capping and all their tricks. And of course their missile launcher. Or rocket launcher as they call it. Sorcerer of teleporting shenanigans, level 4 now. Yep. And it's going for Curse of Tzeentch from the Icon of Tzeentch. 312, 248, Sluggers on repair duty. I don't seem too pleased about it. Warboss level 3, no war gear. Goes mid. Death Dread goes east side to make sure nothing's trying to steal the VP. And Western VP just been ignored. No, it isn't. Heretics are on it, but so are Shooter Boys, and these guys don't have an aspiring champion, so they are going down very quickly. Aspiring champion gives them more hit points. Down they go. Power bashing now for Local Ghost. Down to 2 Heretic squads. Those guys weren't even upgraded, so they're probably not too bothered. War Truck needs to be very careful with double Plague Marines around. Sluggers could try to run in on them and tie them up, but then the Dreadnought counter initiates. It is commandos for PhatE. 265, 248, triple cap for the Orks. Just an aspiring champion fighting these guys. More heretics coming in though. Heretics don't have special attacks, but the aspiring champion does. So he can knock stuff around. Here comes the Warboss to have a word. Should be able to deal with them with his default loadout there at level 3. Has the Dreadnought been able to smack something yet? I think they did smack something on the west side. The Death Dread definitely doesn't want to deal with this. Chaos Dreadnought alone would take it out. There's double Plague Marines there too. Here's your commandos. Instantly get their Nob Leader who has that rocket launcher. Another Chaos Dreadnought for Local Ghost. Quite fun to see. It's going to be double Mark of Khorne. Just put them both on Blood Rage and have them fight each other. Commandos being all sneaky. But they're using up their energy here to stay hidden, which means they can't do their little tricks. Their incendiary grenade and stuff. 192, 248. Sorcerer just poofed away somewhere. There he goes. Power here. Bashed and decapped still. Commandos got too close to a Dreadnought. They must have been looking elsewhere, PhatE. These guys may just die. May just be letting them die to get population back. Not sure what else they're looking at. Oh, the Death Dread. Maybe they're trying to save the Death Dread. The other Chaos Dreadnought in the default state with the autocannon. Down goes the Death Dread. No way it was going to get out of that. Sorcerer still decapping things and been super effective so far, this guy. Level 5. Warboss is running away. Looters now for PhatE. Needs a beamy death gun, I suppose. That's a lot of vehicle hit points to chew through. 2,200 hit points of it. Beamy death gun on the way. And of course still has those commandos with a rocket launcher. There's one hit. This thing just going to be sent into base because Local Ghost knows he can teleport it out. It'll take some damage though. Maybe. These guys need to set up, but they set up the wrong way. That wasn't very useful. The Warboss may die if he's not careful. And they're rushing in on base with other things as well. Warboss survives for now. You do get 50% damage resistance when you're in base. That's the blue aura that you see. Khorne Dreadnought having a grand old time in base here. 192 to 193. 2 to 1 for Local Ghost. Here comes a Blood Crusher. Just throw more vehicle armor at it, I suppose. Warboss goes down. Looters are almost going to go down here. Plague Marines are not. Their fire rate isn't slowed down by being suppressed. So those Plague Bolters doing some work. Down goes the Looters. That may be GG. This Dreadnought now forcing melee with a big special attack. The other one, did the other one get teleported out? Oh, it did. Rocks set up by Love the Daka. Plague Marines are tough though, eh? It's a good Rocks. I think it wiped the Heretics that were there. Yes, it did. Plague Marines able to get away, and these guys still being harassed by the other Dreadnought. Tank Busters now for PhatE. Anti-vehicle squad that are way more mobile than Looters. They don't need to set up with their weapons. Double cap now for PhatE. I mean, they still have a VP lead. Here's the Warboss. And here's Tank Busters. But they're not firing. Here we go. Crunch. Look how much damage they do. Big burst of it. Commandos will heal up and reinforce. War truck hanging out in the mid. There are sluggers around with user choppers. Did they just kill something? Why do they have user choppers? Oh, it's probably the Sorcerer who teleported into the mid. And they're going to get ducked to death by the war truck. Yes, they are. I tried to run away. 136, 177. Where's the Blood Crusher? What's he up to? On the west side, looking intensely at a wreck point that he can't cap or decap. This Dreadnought may not survive because the Sorcerer can't really teleport it away since he's right there. Dreadnought goes down. Double Plague Marines now. Almost got the war truck. If the other one fired, they would have got it. PhatE not giving up. 134, 177. Sorcerer repurchased. Where's the burner bomb? Tank Buster barrage, knock him over. Killed one as well. Didn't use their burner bomb. These guys are trying to get a decap, which is, I don't think, a great idea, but there's some support coming in. Doom Bolts flies in too. Those guys are really low. War truck is also super low. Tank Busters having to run, Commandos having to run, and the war truck gets the hell out of there too. Plague Marines level to 3. Another Blood Crusher up for Local Ghost. This guy's still idle. Warboss just took the Western VP for a single here. Can PhatE pull this off? Can they avoid the mismatch fights and keep on capping? There's Curse of Tzeentch on the Sluggers. Explosions on Death. They're doing a lot of damage to this guy. There's Coruscating Flame on the Sorcerer. Oh, the Knob Leader went down. Those guys can now maybe repair... Oh no, he's right there. Did they repurchase? Maybe they can repair that war truck now. Dreadnought getting some repairs from the Heretics. A single Plague Marine in both of those squads. Dreadnought taking huge damage now. Blood Rage activated, increasing the damage and damage resistance and speed of your Dreadnought. But you lose control. Is it gonna... It's going after the Sorcerer. Look, I think took him down with the underslung bolt gun there. Now Blood Rage is worn off. Sorcerer can't really help it with the teleport though, unless they repurchase. Dreadnought is down. They still have double Blood Crushers, and now they have some Chaos Space Marines. Using some of that ballooned requisition they had floating. 90, 138, 2-1 now for Local Ghost. Map looking quite blue. Commandos with their fast capping trying to grab this VP. Heretics coming in. Doom blasting that one guy over there. Should have kept him alive for some more melee DPS, I think. Able to finish the cap, and here comes a Shrine. A Tzeentchian Shrine will shoot out Doom Bolts. Warboss, the War Truck did get some repairs. Warboss with still no War Gear, almost level 5. Blood Crushers, which don't seem to have been used super effectively yet. seemed idle a lot of the time, but maybe we'll see them come into play a bit more now. 77 to 131. How much damage do those Doom Bolts do? Oh, the Shrine's down now. Plague Marines will explode on death. There's only one left, I think. Yep, they'll take that explosion to wipe them. Triple cap now for Local Ghost. The War Truck survives on 8 hit points. And I think they're going to wipe the other Plague Marines maybe. There's Ard Boys on the Sluggers. Oh, is he far enough away? I think he's far enough away, you know. 80 hit points, they get away. Here come double Blood Crushers. Bad news for all of this stuff. Blood Crushers do good DPS and they have good mobility. They take out the War Truck with one poke. And there's Dark Flames on Retreat Path. Global ability of the Sorcerer. He's going to wipe those Tank Busters. 26 hit points. 23. I think they're all right. Commandos are still up. They've gone the west side. They can throw a burner bomb on these fellas, or they're going Mark of Khorne. They decided against engaging them. Angry fellas with chain axes, with power armor on. Oh, and double Blood Crushers here now. 1-to-1 cap. VP's very close. Very, very close. PhatE has gone for looters, really? Did not expect that. I expected some more tank busters, maybe. But I think looters is kind of a weird one. Blood Crushers could just, like, charge it down. And now there's Mark of Khorne fellas that could charge it down. With just an attack order. Single cap here for Local Ghost. Sorcerer Doom Bolts. It's a decent hit on those Sluggers as they came in there. Can now threaten them quite a lot. But not enough. Not nearly enough. They did have Curse of Tzeentch on them. They've now run away. Warboss grabbing the Eastern VP. 77 to 49. Can PhatE get something else on the field? They need these looters to really perform. Blood Crusher goes down. They're still getting a beamy death gun for a single Blood Crusher. They've already got tank busters and commandos. Oh, PhatE's lost sound. Sound bug. Great. For the first time in 15 years. 77 to 49, so they've never had sound bug before. I mean, there are some pretty effective fixes for it these days. Just limiting your frame rate is the easiest thing you can do. Just limit it to 60 or something. 2-to-1 cap. Is PhatE even still playing? Beamy looters. Get some good shots. Can they take out the Blood Crusher? One more shot will do it. Oh, Tank Busters get it done. I think PhatE is definitely playing at the moment. It's a double for Local Ghost at the end. There's a triple. Looks like they're not going to be able to pull this out anyway. I think more commandos instead of those looters might have been the way to go. Maybe PhatE is dropped now. But I think they were done for anyway. I think that looter's purchase was a bad purchase. And a level 7 Sorcerer who's fallen over. I don't know what happened here. Oh, they just get repurchased maybe. And then they get up. And a level 5 Warboss with no war gear. But there you have it, guys. The map was very blue at the end. Awesome game though. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.